You love your cat, right? Of course you do. And when winter hits, you do everything you can to keep them safe and cozy. But what if I told you that some of those well-intentioned comforts could actually be causing silent harm? It's a really tough question, I know, but it's so important. Today, we're going to break down the most common winter mistakes that thousands of well-meaning owners make, and more importantly, show you exactly how to fix them. Let's get right into it. So, first up, let's talk about the two biggest habits: giving them a little extra food and just letting them sleep all day. I mean, it feels right, doesn't it? But this is where a whole chain of hidden health problems can get started. Okay, look at this. The thinking on the left side seems perfectly logical. You think, hey, a little extra food will help them bulk up for the cold. But here's the thing. Your indoor cat's environment is climate controlled. That extra food isn't being burned as fuel. It's just excess. And all that excess has to go somewhere. That little extra, slowly but surely, adds weight. And that weight puts an incredible strain on their joints, making them stiff, painful. It stresses their heart. It can even make it physically harder for them to groom themselves properly. All of this leads to this general state of low energy and inflammation. So they don't seem sick exactly. They just seem kind of withdrawn, maybe a little moody. So the fix here isn't more food, it's smarter feeding. The key is consistency. Keep their portions the same year-round. If you really want to give them a warm treat, just take their regular wet food and warm it up a tiny bit. It feels special, it boosts their hydration, and you're not adding any of those unnecessary calories. And this brings us to the next big mistake. We see our cat napping in a sunbeam and we think, oh, look at that sleepy winter kitty. But so often that's not restful sleep, it's resignation. A cat's brain is hardwired to hunt, and when that instinct isn't stimulated, they can literally sleep out of boredom, which, believe it or not, actually raises their stress hormones. The good news? The fix is so easy. Just 10 minutes of focused playtime twice a day can totally reset their mental and physical state. Use toys that flutter or skitter around like real prey. A wand toy is perfect for this. And here's the most important part. Always let them catch it at the end. That final pounce, that win, releases dopamine in their brain and it makes them feel accomplished, calm, and so content. All right, let's move on. We've talked about food and play. Now let's talk about something you might not even think about: the very air inside your home, especially after you've sealed everything up tight to stay warm for the winter. Just think about it for a second. Every window is shut, every door is sealed against the cold. That air isn't just getting warm, it's getting stale. And while it might just feel a little stuffy to you, for your cat's sensitive system, it's a much, much bigger problem. See, when we seal up our homes, we're trapping everything inside with us. We're talking dust, tiny allergens, even the carbon dioxide we breathe out. It all just builds up and hangs in the air. And since a cat's respiratory system is incredibly sensitive, their little bodies have to work so much harder just to get the clean oxygen they need. Over weeks and months, this constant effort leads to something you could call respiratory fatigue. They aren't just being lazy. Their bodies are genuinely tired from the simple act of breathing poor quality air. You know, a really simple fix is just to crack a window for a few minutes each day. Just let some of that fresh air circulate. And on top of the stale air, we often add things to it. You know, those cozy winter candles and essential oil diffusers? Well, a lot of the most popular scents, like pine, cinnamon, and eucalyptus, contain compounds that are actually toxic to cats. Their livers just don't have the specific enzyme needed to break down the phenols in these oils. So instead of being filtered out, the toxins build up and can cause everything from irritated lungs to serious liver damage. So the safest choice is also the simplest. You can still have that cozy vibe with some unscented beeswax candles, or you could invest in a good air purifier. Your home will feel just as inviting, but it'll be a much safer, healthier space for your cat to breathe. Okay, now let's talk about another side effect of that warm, sealed-up home: dehydration. I'm telling you, this is one of the most serious and most overlooked winter dangers for our cats. This little chart shows exactly how this dangerous chain reaction happens. Your central heat blasts dry air all day, which literally pulls moisture from your cat's body. Now, cats naturally have a very low thirst drive, so they don't just go drink more to make up for it. This makes their urine more concentrated, which puts this immense, constant strain on their kidneys day in and day out. Luckily, the fixes for this are super simple and really powerful. A humidifier can add much-needed moisture back into the air. A little water fountain can encourage them to drink more. Cats are drawn to moving water. But honestly, the most important thing you can do is serve wet food. It's one of the absolute easiest ways to sneak more water into their system and protect those precious kidneys. So we've arrived at our final section, and honestly, it might be the most important one of all, because everything we've just talked about, the weight gain, the inactivity, the dehydration, it can all lead to one thing: chronic pain. And it's a pain that your cat is an absolute expert at hiding from you. This is something that every single cat owner needs to burn into their brain. Hiding pain is a deep survival instinct. Out in the wild, showing any sign of weakness makes you a target for predators. Our domestic cats have inherited that exact same instinct to mask their suffering at all costs. So how do they show you they're in pain? Well, it's nothing dramatic. They don't usually limp or cry out. Their primary signal of pain is a change in their behavior. They just stop. They stop moving as much. They stop playing. They stop jumping up on things. What we see as winter laziness is so often a cat's quiet way of screaming, "I hurt." So you need to start watching for these super subtle red flags. Do they hesitate and kind of size up the couch before they jump? Do they look a little stiff when they first get up from a nap? Are they suddenly avoiding the stairs? Are they not grooming as much as they used to? These are not just signs of getting older. They are classic textbook signs of pain from conditions like arthritis, which is almost always made worse by the cold weather. So if there's one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this: you have to learn to listen differently. Your cat isn't being lazy, and they aren't ignoring you. They are communicating with you in the only way they know how, through whispers, through these subtle little changes in their daily routine. The real question is, are you paying close enough attention to hear what they're really trying to tell you?